Okay. Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome back to my channel. I know I didn't post anything last week, but I was exhausted. It's great that I'm meeting a lot of people here, but I was going out like every day, every other day, meeting people, meeting their friends, and I just needed to zone out. And so I literally just stayed in the house. I just stayed in the house and relaxed. And so I'm finally back. I'm still not fully social. Like, I've been doing dinner and things, but I haven't been feeling like recording much. So I wanted to do something special today. I have been here for almost 3 months, and so I think it's the perfect time to talk about pros and cons, how I'm adjusting, what is taking me longer to adjust to, and, food for thought for anybody who is thinking about moving here. So I want to start with the pros first. Start with the positive, what I really love about the city, and then we'll go into cons. So the first pro is that this is a walkable city. This city is so beautiful and it's very green. And so there are so many opportunities to walk around. I walked to the grocery store. I walked to dinner with friends. I walked to the park. I walked almost everywhere. So it actually helps me become a bit more active. I'm getting 10 to 15,000 steps in a day because if I need something to cook, I'm gonna walk instead of always ordering things. And so to me, that's a huge plus because coming from Atlanta, driving does affect your mood. And so driving in traffic and sitting in traffic and just the road rage that exists, actually, I'm enjoying not having to drive. I haven't found it inconvenient yet, and it might just be because it's not raining, it's not freezing. And so right now, the temperature is lovely. I'm outside, and it's just so nice for me to be able to walk. And so that's what I've always wanted. Wherever it was Europe or somewhere else, I wanted to be able to walk places. So another pro is that the cost of living apartments are affordable. You just have to take time to research them. I know a lot of times they require you have an AVAL or like a cosigner. And so if you come here and you get just an Airbnb for a few months while you scout out the environment, you can actually find something that's pretty affordable. For me, having a cat, I necessarily didn't want to bounce her around from Airbnb. But if you don't have an animal, you're not with anybody, a baby or anything, take your time and explore the city. Take your time and explore the different communities because every community has its own identity. And so if you can just walk around here, there's a lot of buildings that have Sorrenta on it, and so that means it's for rent, and you can talk to the landlord, you can negotiate price with them and get everything that you need. And so it's pretty affordable. I have friends that are paying 1,000 USD for a really nice apartment in a really nice area. And so if you can be patient with it, you can get what you want. And I guess it's subjective depending on where you're coming from. Like, there's a lot of people coming from LA, so yeah, it's gonna be affordable. If you're coming from Alabama or like someplace where the cost of living is lower, I would say Mexico City is very similar to I don't even know, because I can't say Atlanta, because this building, all of the amenities, all of that would not be what I'm paying, which is about $1,300. So I would say it's even cheaper than cost of living in Atlanta, but you have to be patient about it. If you are a foodie, this is the place to be. There is everything out here. The one thing I have not found is food derivative of Black people. So I have not found Jamaican food, African food, Caribbean food, like none of that. But there is Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food, Indian food, Mexican food, American food. I'm sure there's a lot of there's Persian food, Middle Eastern food. Like, there's a lot of variety out here. I am craving oxtail, and I haven't been able to find it yet. But other than that small hiccup, this is paradise for foodies. And the restaurants are cute. So they're aesthetically pleasing. Me and my friends have been able to find some nice happy hour places. You can get like 2 drinks for $10 USD. And we just chill on like a Friday night, 5 p.m. It's great. And so Excuse me. And so food here is amazing. And with it being a walkable city, you can walk anywhere. I don't know if that's good or bad, depending on who you are, depending on your fitness goals and your budget. It can be really good. For me, I had to slow it down and not eat out as much because there are some goals I'm trying to reach. But when I'm not worried about it, like, I can go anywhere I want. If I'm craving Chinese food, I can get that. If I'm craving some tacos, of course, I'm going to be able to find that here. And so food was a really, really big reason why I moved here, was because I can still have that lifestyle of going out for dinner, hanging out, and I'm not breaking my budget. That's a really big one for me. Like I said, we were able to get like 2 drinks for $10 for a happy hour, and we ordered a lot, and we only spent like $50 for the whole dinner. I know when I was in Atlanta, me and my girls go out, easily can drop $100 just on ourselves. And so I do like that factor that there's good food. Like, the food here is so well cooked, but once again, my goals, like, I'm trying not to eat out as much. But if you are someone that's not an issue for you, Mexico City is the perfect place to be for it. So my last pro is community. If you are someone like me who is African American, there is a huge community here for you to click with. I have people in my building I hang out with. There are people that I've met at restaurants, bars, art shows, all of it. And so don't be concerned about not finding us, because we are around, and we have, parties every now and then. My neighbor throws a lot of parties here. I've been to like DJ sets, and those are really fun, very enjoyable, great music. They have R&B parties, and so that's a huge pro for me. I still want to be able to get into other culture, but I personally find comfort in being around my people and knowing that I have the safe haven if I do need it. And so that's a pro for me. But outside of just Blackness, because this is a metropolitan city, there is a community for everything. And so I roller skate. There is a roller skating community here. There is a huge fitness community here. If you walk around the parks, 6, 7, 8 a.m., these people are out there doing burpees. I hate burpees, but it's the fact that you can find that. I have a homegirl that is doing boxing classes 3 times a week at the park. And so you can find a community for everything. If you're into cooking, you can find that. I have a friend who's into dancing, and so she's met a lot of other locals through that. And there is so much to do here. You have no excuse not to have a hobby here. I have some friends doing pottery classes, jewelry classes. You can literally find anything here, and you can find community in that. You can finally make friends with your like interests. And so that's a huge, huge pro for me, is that you're not alone. And I don't even think you have to be an extrovert to experience those things. Like, there's lots of salsa classes out here, bachata, like, you can do anything. And I still feel like you can be yourself and allow yourself to blossom into getting to know these people. And so that was really big for me. Like, it wasn't something that I knew was here when I moved here, but now that I'm here, I'm really happy that I can step out the house and find something to do. I can step out the house and, I want to go dancing tonight. I can do that. And I will be welcomed as well. I will be welcomed and I will have fun. So let's get into the cons. I want you all to know that some of them are cons that a lot of other people have. Some of them are cons that all of Mexico is having, and some of them are personal cons. And so please don't come for me. It is my personal experience about how I'm feeling about some things and how I'm adjusting to them. So the first con is we are in a water drought right now. It is not anyone's fault, and it is not a downside to Mexico, but it is going to affect how Mexico functions, or Mexico City functions. Well, no, I think this is happening all over Mexico. And so I personally haven't experienced it, but I have had some friends where their water has been cut off to preserve water. And so if you are someone where that's a really big factor for you, then Mexico City might not be the place for you. And I've actually seen a lot of other content creators kind of discouraging people from moving here right now because of the drought. And so the more and more people who are here that are pulling on those resources, the less water the whole city has. And so I would do your research, stay up to date on the news with that, because I had got wind of it when I first got here, but I think at this point it is irresponsible to move here until the water crisis gets better. We're praying for rain. The rainy season is coming. So I actually won't be here for the rainy season, but I'm hoping that we get flooded with it. So when we get out of the rainy season, we have enough water for the city to function again. And so that is a con that is happening, but it's actually more of a con for people where water is not as affordable. So it's not necessarily a con for me, but it is for other people. On the topic of water is how harsh the water is. The water is really, really hard. And with us being higher in elevation in the mountains, it is dry out here. And so for someone who is from Atlanta, where I'm used to humidity, I am dying. I had a friend who went out of town for a friend's birthday, and so I begged her, I said, please bring me back some Vaseline and Aquaphor. And so she bought me a big old thing of Aquaphor, and it's actually the only thing that has been keeping my skin moisturized. I have been looking like a snake. Flaking off scales and everything. And so that is a con for me. And so I've always lathered in Aquaphor now. And when you're outside, it's hot. And so washing my hair, especially with getting locks, I have a spray bottle that has purified water in it. And so even after I wash my hair, I am going back over it with purified water, so as my hair isn't drying out as fast. So if you're someone where water is a big part of your routine, hair and skin, that is something to consider, is that it is going to dry you out, and you are going to have to either bring those products with you or get someone to bring them to you, because it's not here. I have not found Aquaphor or Vaseline here. If anybody has seen it, please let me know, because I looked on Amazon and they were trying to charge me like $30 before import fees for a jar of Aquaphor. So not into that, but it is something to consider. Another con for me is kind of in a two-part. The city smells and the air quality is really bad. So the city has, I won't say necessarily a sewage problem, but you can smell your neighbors and just the city in general through your pipes. And so I actually keep my toilet lid closed and I keep the bathroom door closed, because if not, that smell is just permeating through your house and it literally smells like poop. And so you will catch whiffs of that all throughout the day. I can be walking downstairs to my building and smell it, but when I come back, it's gone. You could be in a restaurant, you could be at the museum, you can be anywhere and just catch a whiff of it. And so if you're sensitive to smells, that is, this might not be the place for you, because it happens all the time. And it's not something that's like, oh, I'm gonna move from here because of it, but it is something that's like, it's just something I'm having to adjust to. It's just something I'm having to adjust to right now. So it is a con, but I am, I've got diffusers in the house, I got incense, but when I'm out in the world, it is something where it's like, oh, okay, I gotta get used to this. Now, with the air quality, it's a couple of different things. One, we're higher in elevation. So for me, being an asthmatic, that's already a whammy for me. Number two, the air quality, there is actual pollution in the air. And when you're on your phone, it will tell you the weather and it's going to tell you the air quality. And we are kind of in the yellow to orange range. And so for me, my sinuses have been messed up. I need to find some more Claritin, but I am always congested. You can probably hear right now, I am always congested here. And my rule of thumb in my body is that if it's warm, it's all open passage. If it's cold, it's closed. But here it is warm and it is closed. And so it's something I'm really, really having to adjust to. I am taking my inhaler several times a day because I cannot breathe. And I'm someone who's active. I work on my lungs a lot, but I just can't breathe at all. So that is something that I am adapting to. I always carry my inhaler on me. I'm literally staring at it right now. And so if you're someone who has sensitive lungs or sensitive sinuses, it is something to take into account before moving here. And also, the city smokes a lot. And so people, I have been to a club and they're hotboxing cigarettes in a club. And so I immediately got like a baby asthma attack because of that. And so it is something that I never leave the house without my inhaler. I have nebulizer medicine as well. I have a portable nebulizer, like I'm just prepared for it. And I always have tissues on me because my nose will just run. Like every morning I wake up, my nose is crusty. So I know that's so much information, but I have never experienced this before. Never ever experienced it before. So I have a few friends that have been doing like the saline cleanses. I might try that. But on average, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So that might be something to take into consideration. If you're moving here, or even if you're just visiting here, like come with things that you're going to need so you can survive the few days that you're here. So the last two cons are my personal cons. It is something that I have noticed infuriates me. And it's something that I'm trying to adapt to. I hear, and please, let's have a civil conversation about it if you do have something to say about it. Because once again, this is my experience and where I'm from. So I'll give you context. I'm from the South, and we're friendly. Contrary to belief, we're friendly. And so we walk out of people's ways. Some people say good morning. I don't really care about that. But I notice the chivalry in men. Even though, you know, dating is in the dumpster, I still feel like men aren't going out their way to be rude to me. Here, I see the classism. I see the classism very clear here. And the men are aggressive towards you. In this type of way of, you need to move out my way. I was out with a friend and I was pushed by men. My biggest one is the spatial awareness here in the city, and this is men and women. But it is baffling to me that men want me to move out of their way. So, for example, I'm walking down the street. They're walking down the street. They'll get in front of me and then want me to move. And it's like, you could have stayed over here. And I've experiencing that a lot. And I asked some people, and so some people are like, no, I don't get it. Or some people are like, no, yeah, I'm shoulder checking. And so that's what I've been doing. I have been shoulder checking people because the spatial awareness is not on the same level as me. And so it could be a group of 5 guys or women walking down the street, walking down the sidewalk, and it's like, where am I supposed to fit in? Some people really expect you to walk in the street and avoid them. I'm not doing that. It's just rude to me. And so it's something I'm having to get used to because I don't like touching people, you know? And so when I'm out in public, and the streets are not as crowded as New York, like it is not that crazy, but there is no reason why we have to touch while we're walking. Like, we should all just be pew, 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 zooming in and out of each other. But it is this idea of, I'm standing here, I'm going to walk in front of you, and then you're going to move. And I'm not liking it. And so I'm really, really having to adjust to that. The other thing is that, back to the chivalry thing, I'm really just blown away by it. Because I've had situations of, like, men here in my building racing to the door but not to open the door for me to just walk through the door and then let it close in my face. I've had situations where instead of saying excuse me, like I might not know that they're behind me or something. Instead of saying excuse me, they're just gonna come into my personal space and do what they need to do. And so I know that Americans are privileged when it comes to personal space, but I'm having the disconnect of it's past personal space, it's just rude. And so I'm working on it. When I walk down the street, I'm just continuing what I'm doing, because I'm not going to move out the way for people who stepped in my way. That's just, I'm not going to do that. But I'm working on not taking it personally. I'm working on not taking it personally and seeing it as just, that's how it is here. But I will not be participating in that. Actually, I did it once. I did it once in a grocery store where I didn't say anything. I didn't say excuse me. I just walked around and somebody was like, what's the word for it? They nada. He was like, they nada, bitch. Like, he didn't say bitch, but that was his sentiment. And I'm confused. Like, this is how everybody functions. So is it okay or is it not? I don't know, but I'm going to continue to be me, my southern self. I say excuse me. I navigate around people, but it is something that I've had to really adjust to. And I think for me, part of it is that I'm in the business district. And so it could just be that, you know, when people are here working, it's a different vibe. But when I'm in Condesa or Roma Norte, I actually don't experience that often. So when I'm walking down where I am, I'm shoulder checking a lot because people just want me to walk in the street to avoid them. Don't know, but that's a big con for me, is that the spatial awareness is not there at all. So it's just me. Let's be civil about it. I mean, and honestly, I feel like some other Mexicans might feel the same way and they're just used to it, but I'm not used to it yet. I've talked to a friend the other day and she's been here for a year plus, and she's like, yeah, I just had to adapt to it, but she still is not going to let somebody punk her out on the sidewalk. That's just not going to happen. So my last con is very specific, and it's really just for me. It's the gyms. I have not been able to find a good gym. And granted, I am from Atlanta, and so Atlanta is a suburban city to me. Like, I realize that now. And so this is a city. And so you're not going to get the size of the LA Fitness out here. And so because of that, it's crowded. There's a big chain here that is comparable in price to Planet Fitness and LA Fitness called Smart Fit. And I can't stand it. It's been very, very crowded in the morning to the point where people are sharing machines. And the thing with me is that it's kind of like an entitlement of like, share this machine with me. Like, I had this girl stand next to me and I'm like, what do you want? She's like, I want to use it. And I was like, okay, you're gonna have to wait. Like, I don't give a damn. And I'm not, and I asked some locals too. I was like, am I being an entitled American? And they're like, no, I hate that gym. I've canceled my membership. And so that is actually a big one for me, is trying to find a gym that I like and it's not busy. And I'm a morning person, and so I've had a few friends that are just like, you might just need to adjust your schedule and go at lunchtime or go after dinner time or something. And so that's one that I'm trying to adjust to. Fortunately, I have a gym in my building, but it doesn't have the works. You know, it has dumbbells and treadmills and Stairmasters, but it doesn't have all those fun things that we love in the gym. So, I've been walking around, and that's the other thing, is that there might be a gym that's better, but then it's a 30-minute walk out the way. And even though we love walking, we don't want to deplete ourselves before the workout, getting to the workout. So it's just something that I'm personally trying to figure out. But if you are big into your gym journey, it is something to consider. It is something that you need to research before coming. I thought I did my research, but it's nothing like when you actually get here and see everything. So I'm still trying to find some gyms. If anybody knows any gyms in my area, like Roma Norte, well, I would say I'm more like Juarez, Catemog, Catemog. I feel like I say it right, and then someone's like, "Oh no, it's this." It's an extra syllable that I'm missing. But yeah, I'm trying to find my gym, and the gym that I really want that's to me comparable to LA Fitness in regards to like a pool, because some of them have pools, a sauna, all of them have saunas, and just space, is this place called Sports World, and it's $150 a month USD. And I was like, if I could get a raise, an extra raise, maybe I do it. Because I think it's in one of these buildings that I'm looking at. So it's really close to me. But I'm not paying $150 for a gym. I'm into my fitness journey. I'm not that into my fitness journey. So that's just a random one. It really has nothing to do with Mexico. Well, I guess it does have to do with the city. Is that the gyms in the city are a bit different. And so you do have to adapt. And I personally am not there yet because I don't necessarily like to be as social as I've had to be in these gyms. Just like talking to people of like, no, I'm not done with this machine. No, you cannot share it with me. Like, it's just too much for me because the gym, sorry, I was making sure it's focused. The gym is meditation for me. And so I don't really like to exchange with people that much. So it's something that I am adjusting to. But if this is anything like you, take it into account. So those are all of my pros and cons about how I'm feeling about being in Mexico City thus far. Please let me know if you have any questions about neighborhoods or any concerns, or you want to debate about my cons. I'm totally fine with it, as long as we're all respectful. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more.